Today I'll be doing a meal prep for the week and I'm making okra soup. So into my heated pan I'm adding red oil and then I added red onion as well. Then I'll saute it for a few minutes before adding the next ingredients, and into that I'm adding red Scotch bonnet peppers. I blended about two red Scotch bonnet peppers. I'm just gonna saute it as well so that it releases its flavor. Then I'll be adding 1 teaspoon of dried crayfish. I normally use prawns, fresh prawns, but since I don't have fresh prawns available, I'll be using this, and also to give it a little bit of flavor and to add taste to the meal, I'm using cooked kpomo and Shaki. I just cooked it with salt and a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. That would be the stock for the soup. Then I'll be adding a little bit of dried ground ginger. This is optional. I just added a little bit because I like the taste as well as the flavor it adds to the meal. And I'll be using mackerel. So these are frozen mackerel I got from the African shop. Cleaned it up and I like using them for my soup. They're quite nice as well. So I'm just putting them into different sections of the pot. Then I'll be using frozen spinach as the leaf for the soup. I'm adding the spinach now because you can see they are frozen and I didn't bring them out on time to defrost. So I'm just putting them into the stock so they can cook alongside the fish and the meat, and they'll get defrosted in the stock. That's why I'm just pushing them directly into the meat stock in the soup. Then I added a little bit of water to the soup base because it's gonna be a large soup because there's a lot of meat and fish in there, so I will need the soup to be a lot as well. Then I added a little bit of salt to taste. And I'll be using Maggi stock cube as the seasoning. So I use about 2 stock cube because of the quantity and the size of the soup as well. After I add the things together, I just mix it up and make sure it's okay. And then I'll be covering it up and allowing it to cook for a while. After about 5 to 10 minutes, you can see the spinach is already defrosted and the soup is actually cooking up really fast. So I'll turn down the heat to allow the fish to get cooked before the soup dries out fast. Next, I'm just adding a little bit of dried red pepper to the soup. I tasted the soup and I noticed it was not that spicy with the Scotch bonnet pepper. So I just added a little bit of dried pepper because I do like it a bit spicy. Not too spicy, but just a little bit. And then I'm just mixing it up to make sure it gets into the soup. So I'm using two type of okra. That one was the blended one and this is the one I cut on the chopping board. I blended this with a little bit of water, so when I was chopping the okra I noticed that it doesn't have the consistency that would get slimy in the soup. So I just added a little bit to the blender, put a little bit of water and just put it on pause setting and just blend for like a few seconds, and then it comes out in this consistency. And this is a trick I use when I notice my okra will not be giving me the desired consistency. So it actually saves me the time of looking for something else like a bonnet to make the soup slimy. So I just use that and it works for me. And then I'll be adding the remainder of the okra, which is the chopped one. So it gives it a different type of look as well because I'm using two types of consistency for the okra. So I'm just putting it together to make sure that it gets cooked in the soup. After cooking for about 5 to 7 minutes, I noticed my soup was about getting burnt in the bottom of the pot. So that's why I'm just pushing my spatula into the bottom of the pot to make sure it's not burnt, and being careful as well not to break the fish in the soup. You can see how nice the okra soup looks, guys. Came in for a closer view. It's giving me the slimy consistency which I wanted, and it does really looks really good and definitely tastes yum. This is my okra soup, and this is the meal prep done for the week. I'm just gonna pack it up and put in the fridge to preserve, because I'll be having it as the week goes by. So this is how it looked, guys. I've packed it up in the plate in separate portions. I think I had 6 portions altogether for 2 7 each. They look good, and don't trust ice cream plates in the African house. That's my packing. Thank you for watching.